Hi everybody, it's Mimi Kirk. I know I'm always excited about a lot of things and always my books, but I'm really excited about my newest book called Tea-Vitalize. And all of you will recognize that name from Raw Vitalize, but this is Tea-Vitalize. And I learned so much about teas. I've been a tea lover for quite some time, but as I started to research this book that I wrote all last year, I really realized how much tea is better than even drinking just plain water, because there's all these minerals and antioxidants and things that you'll get from teas, from these herbal teas, that you don't get just in your plain water. And the other thing I learned is that when you drink a tea, it goes to all the right places in your body. Sometimes you drink a lot of water and you still don't feel hydrated, but when you start drinking cold brew teas, you're going to feel the difference. So here's the funny thing though. I thought I invented cold brew teas. I know you're laughing now, but honestly, I swear I thought I did. I was working on these teas, and I remember that I used to make a tea for my children in the 70s, and I made it for years, and it was always sun tea, right? And I'd leave it out, and I'd put all the tea bags in, and I'd leave this big jar outside and then bring it in. And sometimes there was a little film on top, and I just figured that was from the sun or the bags, and or the loose tea, and I would just brush it off. Well, what I found is that could be bacteria. Well, luckily, maybe I gave my kids some good bacteria in their body, but luckily, they're fine. But then I thought, I can't tell people to make sun tea anymore, because now I think it could cause a problem. So then I thought, well, what do they do with cold brew coffee? Then I thought, well, why can't I just put tea bags in water and stick it in the refrigerator and see what happens? And then I did that, and the tea was delicious. There was no bitterness, it was smooth, it was a beautiful color, it tasted great. And then I started infusing them with oranges and lemons and peaches and watermelon and all kinds of fruits, strawberries. And this was just like the most delightful tea. And I filled a big glass with ice. I served it to friends and family. And everybody thought it was amazing. They just thought it was so delicious. And it is once you start infusing it. Well, then after some time, since I was researching so much about the health of all the different herbs for centuries and lifetimes, herbs have been used in all the cultures. And I started to learn all about it. And then I discovered I did not invent cold brew tea. It was already a thing. I had already bragged to my family that they were probably going to open up stores all over the world with this cold brew tea. But now I did not invent it, even though I thought I did originally. But I have brought it to its peak with all this great fruit that I'm going to do. So I want to show you how to do that. I'm just going to flip through the pages. You can see the wonderful photographs of Mike Mandel, who is always so lovely to shoot all these photos for me. This is my honey, who is also behind the camera. But this is a really beautiful book. And there's also some hot teas in here. In the cold weather, you want all of these cold brew teas. And even in hot weather, you still need to hydrate. That's what people forget. They think they don't need as much, but you still need it. You still need to hydrate all the time. And I have some lovely warm teas in here, and I explain teas in a really good way. And I also have a glossary that tells you what teas are good for different ailments. Now, since teas have been used in cultures for centuries for so long, there are all types of teas that people use to heal. And I've written about that in this book, and I think you're really going to love it. I am doubly excited about this book from anything I can think of, because I've been using these teas and drinking these teas, and my family has been doing the same, and we all feel it's made a difference in our skin and the way we feel hydrated. So I'm going to teach you very quickly how to do this. I hope you enjoy it, because it's so simple. Remember, the slow extraction of the teas keeps it from all the tannins or getting bitter. Maybe you didn't like teas before, and you didn't like boiling water to make tea, because you put that loose tea or a tea bag into hot water, and we don't like to do that. It's extracting different things. So the first thing I want to teach you about tea, please buy organic, because when you do put that into hot water, you're extracting all the things that tea was sprayed with, and you don't want that, and you don't want what was in the soil. I mean, I'm a big fan of buying everything organic, and certainly my teas. So it's very important to have organic teas. If you prefer loose tea, that's a great thing. Loose tea is just amazing. I love loose teas. You can go into any tea shop and buy different kinds. I've suggested all kinds for you, but you can see what their special blend is, and I think that that's a really important thing. And I usually use, I use a tablespoon. Usually there's a teaspoon in every tea bag, but I like to make it a little stronger. That's my preference for tea. So I'm going to put a loose tea just in here. I'll have to strain this. There are things you can do if you don't want to strain. But this is a lovely tea with all these kind of blossoms in here. I just love that. That's all you have to do. And put that in the refrigerator. You're going to shake it down and make sure that everything is wet. That's what you want to do. And on this one, I think I'll make a, let's see. I think on this one, I'm going to use a hibiscus in a bag, whichever works for you. Hibiscus, and I'm going to mix it with, let's see what I have here, with rose hips. Great combination. This is going to do so much for you. You'll find all the combinations in the book that maybe you've never tried before. And I love combining these teas. Something happens that gives it like this really special flavor, and all of a sudden you'll be a tea expert. You'll be doing the same thing yourself. So I'm going to put actually 3 tea bags in here. I'm going to put this in and let this hang over the top. I like to do 3. Sometimes I use 4, just depending if it's a really light tea. It's up to you. Normally you would use 1 tea bag for a cup of water, and I think when you're cold brewing it, you might want to put an extra tea bag in. So 2 will work, but I'm going to put a 3rd one in, and I think I'll make that the hibiscus one. I love all of these. Oh my goodness. I'll have to show you my tea cupboard someday. It's enormous. And so this is it. You let the strings hang over, and you put the lid on. So hard. You don't have to heat water. You don't have to cook. You don't have to do anything. Here's that one. I'm going to shake this one up. Now, when I want to infuse this, I'm going to let this go for a few hours. I can even leave it overnight, and then I'm going to put the infusion in, whatever I decide to infuse it with. It could be orange, lemon, it could be peaches, it could be any fruit I have in the house, it could be some herbs from the garden. You might want to put basil in, or sage, or some other teas. You're going to learn all about that in the book. This little thing here is made by KitchenAid. It's an amazing little tea thing. It has a little strainer in here. And so then you put this in here when you put your tea bags in. This is going to be rooibos, which I really love. This is a rooibos tea. This is very healthy for you. I'm going to put in 4 bags because this is 48 ounces, and I'm going to put in some spearmint because I love spearmint. I always put fresh mint from my garden in. If you're going to use this in like something like this, take off the tag. You don't have to soak that cardboard tag in there. This is, again, like I say, it's all organic. And then I'm going to add some herbs to it later after it sits for a while. This is it. This is all there is to it. So, if you would like to have an autographed copy and get it right now, before it's in Amazon or the stores or anywhere, which will be later on in July, if you want to get it from me right now, go to youngonrawfood.com and go to where it says buy my books, and you'll find all my books listed, and you'll find these wonderful tea book, and I'm hoping that you'll drop me a note at one of my Facebook pages and tell me what you think, because I think once you do this, look at how fast that's turning into a beautiful color. By the way, all these teas, you can put these into, we'll show you how to do this in the book. You can put it into ice cube trays so you don't water them down when you really serve them. You just pour these teas into ice cube trays, and you can put berries in them and freeze them. They'll have some wonderful instructions for beautiful ice cubes. And then you can put that into your drink. And when you serve this to somebody at a lovely summer lunch or a dinner, or just drink it yourself and take this to work every day, you're going to thank me. You're welcome. I think you're going to really love this. I'm glad that you were here and watched my video, and hopefully you'll buy this book. I think you'll be really happy with it. Love you. Bye.